Hey everybody, it's Mr. Neil. You'll notice that we're outside today, and that's because we're going to go for a walk today. So follow me and let's see what we find.
So I'm at the park and I found a family of ducks. And it looks like itty bitty baby ducks, and they just hatched. And there's also a family of geese. There's a lot more geese than there are ducks. But look at all the little geese and how they follow their moms and their dads. And behind me, you'll see a duck that's not in the water. That's Mr. Nicholas's duck. It's got a curly tail, and for some reason, it almost never goes in the water. He'll go right up to the edge and he'll get a drink, but he won't go into the water. And if you look real careful, he's got a very curly tail.
Alright, so I think I'm finished checking out the pond right now, so I'm going to walk up the hill and see what else I can find. So I'm up high on the hill now, and in the distance, I can see the city. And on the ground below, I see lots and lots of dandelions. Dandelions are pretty cool because if you pick them up, you can blow the seeds away, kind of like bubbles. And I found something on the ground below me. You guys might recognize the little white flowers, but it's strawberries. Alright, time to go back down the hill. Hey guys, you might notice that there's a playground behind me. And you'll also probably notice that nobody's playing at it right now. And that's because it's unfortunately not safe to. We have to stay home, so that's where I'm going to head back to. Alright, bye-bye! Hey everybody, so I'm back home from my walk now and I'm in my backyard. And it's really special going out for a walk right now because we don't get to do so very often. Like I said when I saw the playground, it's not really safe for us to be outside a whole lot right now. So when we do get to go outside, it's pretty special. So today, I'm going to read you a book called Mr. Grumpy's Outing, and it's by John Birmingham, and it's about a special trip that Mr. Grumpy goes on. And the reason I like this book is because even though his name is Mr. Grumpy, and he really is very grumpy, it's all about how much Mr. Grumpy loves everybody around him. And those are usually my favorite kind of books. This is Mr. Grumpy. Mr. Grumpy owned a boat, and his house was by a river. One day, Mr. Grumpy went out on his boat. "May we come with you?" said the children. "Yes," said Mr. Grumpy, "if you don't squabble." "Can I come along, Mr. Grumpy?" said the rabbit. "Yes, but don't hop about." "I'd like a ride," said the cat. "Very well," said Mr. Grumpy, "but you're not to chase the rabbit." "Will you take me with you?" said the dog. "Yes," said Mr. Grumpy, "but please don't tease the cat." "May I come, Mr. Grumpy?" said the pig. "Very well, but don't muck about." This picture's kind of hard to see. We got some red paper stuck to it. I don't know how. "Have you a place for me?" said the sheep. "Yes, but don't keep bleating. That's the noise that a sheep makes. Can we come too? Said the chickens. Yes, but don't flap, said Mr. Grumpy. Can you make room for me? Said the calf. Yes, if you don't trample about, said Mr. Grumpy. May I join you, Mr. Grumpy? Said the goat. Very well, but don't kick. For a little while they went along happily, but then the goat kicked, and the calf trampled, and the chickens flapped, and the sheep bleated, and the pig mucked about, and the dog teased the cat. Whoop, there's some noise. And the cat chased the rabbit, and the rabbit hopped, and the children squabbled, and the boat tipped. And into the water they fell. And then Mr. Grumpy and the goat and the calf and the chickens and the sheep and the pig and the dog and the cat and the rabbit and the children all swam to the bank and climbed out to dry in the hot sun. We'll walk home across the field, said Mr. Grumpy. It is time for tea. And so they had tea. Goodbye, said Mr. Grumpy. Come for a ride another day. You'll see, Mr. Grumpy really was grumpy, but he let everybody come along with him anyway. And I think that's because he really loves everybody that came with him. That's pretty special to me. It's one thing when you're upset at somebody, but you can still love somebody that you're upset with. And it's really important to understand that. And some people are just kind of grumpy. Some grumpy people are my favorite kind of people. So that's all I have for today. Remember, I love you, but don't tell anybody. Bye-bye.